What if I told you that there are 3 simple steps that could transform your life entirely? Imagine waking up each morning knowing that the life you've always dreamed of is no longer just a distant vision, but something within reach. Today, we're going to uncover those steps, and let me tell you, when you understand how to bring these 3 steps together, you won't just be sitting around dreaming anymore. You'll be living it. These steps are the keys to transforming your life from the inside out, turning your hopes into concrete actions and your dreams into undeniable reality. Because let me tell you something, when you bring these 3 steps into your life, you won't be idly waiting for things to happen. You will make them happen. Reality won't just occur by accident. It will occur because of you. And that, my friends, is the kind of transformation that will change everything about the way you live, the way you think, and the way you approach each new day. It will change how you overcome challenges, how you set goals, and how you push forward even when things seem tough. It's a shift that turns you into a creator, an active participant in crafting your future. Imagine the confidence you'll feel when you realize that you have the power to shape your destiny. No longer just a passenger in life, but the driver directing where you want to go. This shift, this empowerment, is what those 3 steps are all about. And today, we're going to dive deep into each one, breaking it down so that you can start applying them right now in your own life. So what's the first magic step? It's imagination. Now, imagination, it's not just for children, and it's not some little game we play in our minds. It's the most powerful force you can tap into, so powerful that if you do it right, it's almost real. That's right. And here's why. It allows you to shape what could be, to step into a world of your own making, and guess what? The more vividly you can imagine, the closer you are to making it happen. Imagination gives you the power to dream, to see beyond your current circumstances, and to craft a vision of a better future. Take Walt Disney, for example. He imagined an entire world of magic and wonder before a single brick of Disneyland was laid. He could see it all so clearly in his mind that it eventually became reality, even when many doubted. It's like looking at a blank canvas and already seeing the masterpiece that you know is waiting to come to life. Think about it. Every great achievement in human history started as a simple thought, just an idea in someone's mind. Thomas Edison imagined the light bulb before he ever put those wires together. The Wright brothers imagined a world where man could fly before they even set foot on Kitty Hawk. And that, my friends, is the first step, imagining so vividly, so intensely that your dream starts to become part of you. You see, when you allow yourself to imagine freely, to let your thoughts wander and explore without boundaries, you start to align your energy with what's possible. You start to create mental blueprints, pathways that your actions can eventually follow. But imagination alone isn't enough. It's powerful, but it's just the beginning. You can sit around all day imagining yourself being successful, imagining yourself living the life you want, but that doesn't mean it will automatically happen. The second magic step, like faith. Now that's the bridge between what you imagine and what you make real. Faith is believing that your imagination isn't just fantasy. It's a glimpse of what is truly possible. It's so close to being real. It's unbelievable. You need to cultivate faith because without it, your imagination will always just be a wish. Faith turns your dreams into possibilities, into something tangible that you can see and almost touch. It creates a sense of conviction, a sense that says, I know I can do this, even if I don't see the evidence yet. Now, let's be honest, faith isn't always easy, especially when the evidence, the facts, and the results are stacked against you. When the people around you are telling you that your dream is too far-fetched, that you're aiming too high, it's your faith that has to be bigger than their doubts. Faith is knowing that if you keep at it, if you stay in motion, the universe has no choice but to open the door. It's that certainty, that unwavering belief that what you imagine is not just possible, it's inevitable as long as you don't give up. You've got to believe in your own capabilities. You have to believe in that seed of greatness that resides within you. And let me tell you something, when your faith becomes strong, you start to tap into a power that is far greater than any challenge or obstacle that could come your way. You know, people sometimes ask, how do you keep the faith when things get tough? Well, let me tell you, the answer is simple. It's all about focusing on the vision, not the obstacles. If you keep staring at the obstacles, they'll grow so big in your mind that they become insurmountable. But if you keep your eyes fixed on the vision, the obstacles start to look smaller. It's like climbing a mountain. If you keep looking up to the summit, every step forward brings it closer, and the rough patches along the way just become part of the journey. You see, it's not about never encountering problems or challenges. It's about knowing that no challenge is bigger than the vision you're working toward. When your faith is rooted deeply enough, every setback, every delay becomes just a temporary detour. But now, here comes the third and final magic step, the one that makes it all happen. You see, imagination and faith are only the beginning, the third step, and it's the one most people stumble on, the one people want to avoid. Muscle, hustle, and effort. Let me tell you something, there's no substitute for work. That final word, action, is responsible for all reality. Not some of it, all of it. Without action, nothing happens. You can have the most powerful imagination, you can have unwavering faith, but without action, those things are just sitting there in your mind like seeds without soil. And action isn't just about doing something once and then waiting around for miracles to happen. No, it's about consistent, persistent, deliberate effort. You've got to show up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. You've got to keep pushing, even when the results aren't immediate. The truth is, action is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Think about Michael Jordan. He didn't just dream of being a great basketball player. He practiced relentlessly, putting in countless hours on the court. It was his consistent action that turned his dreams into reality. Action takes your imagination and turns it into motion, and faith keeps you going when the progress seems slow. You've got to learn to fall in love with the process. Success is built in the tiny, often invisible steps you take each day. It's in waking up early, staying focused, pushing through resistance, and putting in the hours that no one sees. It's in repeating that process day after day until the momentum builds and suddenly things start to shift. Action is what makes faith real. You see, if you have faith but no action, you're not really showing faith at all. You're just hoping, and hope's good, but it won't get you there without action. You can't plant a garden just by hoping for it. You have to put your hands in the soil, plant the seeds, water them, nurture them, and have the patience to watch them grow. And it's the same with your dreams. You can't just hope they'll take root. You've got to work for it. You've got to sweat for it. You've got to fight for it. And when you do, you're not just proving to others that you can do it, you're proving it to yourself. You're creating evidence of your own capability. Think about someone who wanted to build a better life for themselves. Anybody who's ever achieved anything worthwhile, they didn't just sit around thinking about it, they imagined it. Yes, they had faith, absolutely. But then they got up early, they stayed up late, they went through the grind, they faced the rejections, the disappointments. They took action. They understood that progress wasn't going to come looking for them. They had to go out and create it. They had to make it happen. And let me share something important. Taking action isn't always glamorous. People imagine the road to success as filled with shining moments and big wins. And sometimes it is. But mostly it's about getting through the mundane and frustrating parts of life. The times when you don't feel like you're making progress, but you keep moving anyway. You see, the magic isn't always in the big moments. It's in the hundreds of little moments when you choose to act instead of procrastinate, to press forward instead of give up. It's about showing up when no one else is looking. It's about giving your best effort even when you feel tired, even when you're discouraged. The grind may not be pretty, but it's where your strength is forged, where your resilience is born. Now, some people say, but I don't know where to start. Let me tell you something. The best place to start is exactly where you are right now. Don't wait for everything to be perfect, for all the stars to align, for all the conditions to be just right. They never will be. You've got to start with what you have where you are and make the best of it. There's a great saying, do what you can with what you have where you are. That's all action is. You take that small step and then the next, and before you know it, you've built something incredible. The power is in the motion. Movement creates opportunity. And as you keep moving, new doors will open, new chances will arise. So let's tie these 3 steps together. Imagination, faith, and action. When you can imagine vividly, you start to see your dream clearly. When you have faith, you begin to believe that it's not just a wish. It's something you can really achieve. And when you put those 2 things to work through action, the results begin to manifest. Little by little, the impossible becomes possible, and the possible becomes inevitable. That's the beauty of this process. It doesn't have to be big leaps. It can be a series of small, steady steps that eventually add up to the life you've always dreamed of. It starts with a single moment of belief, and then another, and then another. It's like building a wall. Not by trying to put up the whole structure at once, but by laying 1 brick at a time, each brick laid as perfectly as you can. Over time, those bricks form a solid foundation, and before you know it, you have a wall that stands strong and tall. Each step you take, each action you make, contributes to that structure. You may not see the progress every day, but trust me, it's there. Now think about someone climbing a ladder. Each rung is a small step, and it takes effort to pull yourself up to the next one. The higher you climb, the broader your view becomes. You start to see more possibilities, more opportunities that you couldn't see from the ground. That's what imagination, faith, and action do. They lift you higher, they elevate your perspective, and suddenly the world looks different. Obstacles that seemed massive before look smaller, manageable. The possibilities stretch out before you, and you realize how far you've come simply by taking it 1 step at a time. And it's crucial to remember. It's not about perfection. Many people get stuck because they think they need to have everything perfectly mapped out. They think they need to wait until the timing is just right, until they're fully prepared. But let me tell you, perfection is the enemy of progress. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Willing to take risks, willing to fail, willing to learn, and willing to grow. You see, every misstep, every setback is not a failure. It's a lesson. It's feedback. It's part of the process that gets you closer to your goal. As long as you keep moving, you're still in the game. I want you to understand something very important. Action creates momentum. It's like pushing a car that's stalled. At first, it's incredibly difficult to get it to move. It feels heavy, resistant, like it's never going to budge. But once you get it moving, even just a little bit, it becomes easier and easier to keep it rolling. And soon, you have momentum on your side. The same principle applies to your dreams. The first actions are always the hardest. It requires pushing through self-doubt, resisting the comfort of inaction, and facing the uncertainty of what lies ahead. But once you start, once you take that first difficult step, the next one gets easier, and the next one easier still. Picture an avalanche, not in the destructive sense, but in the way it starts. It begins with just a few tiny snowflakes that gather and grow, and soon it becomes unstoppable. Your actions are like those initial snowflakes. A small decision to try, to do, to keep going, can lead to incredible momentum that pushes you forward and makes it difficult for you to stop. That's how powerful action is. It doesn't matter if your first step feels insignificant or small. Take it anyway, because small steps compound into unstoppable movement over time. And here's something else I want you to understand. When you take action, when you put in the effort, you are not just working towards your goal. You are transforming yourself. You are becoming the kind of person who makes things happen, who doesn't sit around waiting for the stars to align, but creates their own luck, builds their own doors, and then walks right through them. You start to see yourself as capable, resilient, and powerful. you realize that the power to change your life has always been within you. You just needed to ignite it with action. So I want you to take a moment to reflect. What's one action you can take today, right now, to move toward your dream? It doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be something that puts you in motion. Maybe it's making a phone call, writing a plan, dedicating 1 hour to practice, or simply taking the time to visualize your future. Whatever it is, take that action and trust that the ripple effect will carry you forward. You will find that as you move, the path will unfold before you. Remember that faith is what keeps you going when you don't see immediate results. There will be times when you feel like your efforts aren't making a difference. Times when you wonder if it's even worth it. But let me tell you, the seeds you plant today will bear fruit in time. Some seeds take days, others take weeks, and some take years. But all growth happens underground, away from your immediate view, until suddenly it breaks through the soil. Trust that the work you're putting in, even when no one else sees it, is creating the roots that will support your success when it finally blooms. And let's talk about setbacks. Setbacks are not roadblocks. They are part of the terrain. Think of them as the potholes and detours on a long road trip, like an unexpected flat tire or a road closure. You wouldn't give up on your journey just because you hit a bump or had to take a detour. You'd keep driving because you know that no journey worth taking is without a few challenges. The same applies to your dreams. You've got to learn to accept setbacks with grace, to adapt, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Imagination gives you the direction, faith gives you the drive, and action. Action is the vehicle that takes you to the destination. It's that simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. And that's why you've got to commit. You've got to be ready to persevere. And you've got to understand that this is a lifelong journey. You never stop imagining, you never stop believing, and you never stop acting. Because the moment you stop, you begin to stagnate. Life is about growth, and growth is about action. It's like deciding you want to take a road trip. The destination, that's your imagination. You imagine yourself at that place. You can see it, feel it, almost taste it. The car, that's your faith. You have to believe the car will get you there. And then action. That's you getting behind the wheel, turning the key, pressing the gas pedal, and driving. Without action, the car sits in the driveway. The destination is just a fantasy, and you remain stuck where you are. But once you start moving, once you take that first mile, the journey has begun. And it doesn't matter how long it takes because you know you're on your way. So let's think about what's holding most people back. For a lot of folks, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown. But let me tell you something. Fear can't stand against action. You've got to face it head on. It's like a bully that shrinks away when you finally step up and push back. When you take action, even small action, you rob fear of its power. You begin to prove to yourself that you can do it. And the best part? Each time you take action, fear gets a little bit weaker, and you get a little bit... And know this, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in spite of fear. It's about feeling that fear, acknowledging it, and choosing to act anyway. The more you do this, the less power fear has over you, until eventually fear becomes just a whisper in the background rather than a loud shout that paralyzes you. It's a process, and it requires you to show up for yourself every single day. Fear is natural, but your determination and willpower must always be strong. You see, when you act, you set off a chain reaction. You inspire others. People see your courage, your dedication, and they start to believe that maybe they can do it too. Your willingness to take those small steps and your refusal to give up is not just changing your life. It's impacting those around you. That's the beauty of action. It creates ripples that spread far beyond what you can see. So, remember, imagination shows you what's possible. Faith keeps you moving toward it. And action makes it real. These three steps, imagination, faith, and action, are all you need to transform your life. Take them, use them, and let them guide you to the future you desire. No dream is too big if you're willing to imagine it, believe in it, and take consistent steps toward making it happen. Let this be your call to act, to be courageous, and to step into the life you've always dreamed of. You have everything you need. Now it's time to begin. Imagination gives you the direction. Faith gives you the drive. And action is the vehicle that takes you to the destination. It's that simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. And that's why you've got to commit. You've got to be ready to persevere. And you've got to understand that this is a lifelong journey. You never stop imagining. You never stop believing, and you never stop acting. It's like deciding you want to take a road trip. The destination, that's your imagination. You imagine yourself at that place. You can see it, feel it, almost taste it. The car, that's your faith. You have to believe the car will get you there. And then action, that's you getting behind the wheel, turning the key, pressing the gas pedal, and driving. Without action, the car sits in the driveway, the destination is just a fantasy, and you remain stuck where you are. But once you start moving, once you take that first mile, the journey has begun, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, because you know you're on your way. So let's think about what's holding most people back. For a lot of folks, it's fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown. But let me tell you something. Fear can't stand against action. You've got to face it head on. It's like a bully that shrinks away when you finally step up and push back. When you take action, even small action, you rob fear of its power. You begin to prove to yourself that you can do it, that it's not as scary as you thought. And the best part? Each time you take action, fear gets a little bit weaker and you get a little bit stronger. You know, there's a story about a young man who wanted to become an artist. He had a vision of the kind of artwork he wanted to create. He imagined it so vividly that he could practically see it hanging on the walls of a gallery. But he was afraid that he wasn't good enough, that people would criticize him, that he'd be laughed at. But he had faith in that dream, faith that maybe, just maybe, if he worked hard enough, he could do it. And that faith kept him going when the fear crept in, when the doubts became loud. So what did he do? He took action. He started painting every single day. Some days he loved what he painted. Other days he wanted to throw his canvas out the window. But he kept at it. He faced rejection after rejection, but he kept creating, kept showing up, kept putting in the hours. And after a while, people started to notice. His work began to gain recognition. And before long, that gallery he imagined, it became real. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for someone to tell him he was good enough. He believed, and he acted. The point of the story is imagination without faith is wishful thinking. Faith without action is empty hope. But when you bring them all together, when you imagine vividly, believe deeply, and act consistently, that's when the magic happens. And that's the kind of magic that changes lives. That's the magic that can take you from where you are to where you've always wanted to be. And listen, don't get discouraged if the results aren't instant. Too often, people think that if they imagine, have faith, and take action, the results should come immediately. But that's not how it works. It's like planting a seed. You plant it, you water it, you give it sunlight, you nurture it, but you don't see it sprout overnight. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust that if you keep doing what you need to do, the growth will come. That's the process. You've got to have patience and persistence. You've got to believe that every step you take, every action you make, brings you closer to your goal, even if the results are invisible for a while. Imagine if a farmer gave up because he didn't see a sprout after the first week. No crops would ever grow. Success is like that. You put in the work, you keep the faith, and eventually you see the results. But it takes time, and it takes action, consistent, committed action. And you have to be willing to stay in the game even when it feels like nothing is happening, because that's when most people quit, right before the breakthrough. But not you. You're going to stay the course because you know that the harvest always comes after the planting. When you stay consistent, the rewards are incredible. Looking back and seeing the progress you've made, knowing your current life was once just an idea, is immensely satisfying. It's the reward of knowing that you brought something into being that didn't exist before. It's the satisfaction that comes from seeing the evidence of your faith and action manifested in reality. It's waking up and knowing that you're living in the life you once only imagined, and that feeling is priceless. So I want to challenge you today. Start with that imagination. Let yourself dream. Dream big, dream vividly. Picture the details, where you want to go, what you want to achieve, how you want to feel. Make it so vivid that it's almost like you're living it. And then build your faith. Believe that it's not just possible, believe that it's inevitable if you're willing to do the work. Believe that the dream you hold in your heart was given to you for a reason, that it's not a coincidence, and that you are more than capable of achieving it. And then take that first step. Take action, whatever it is, no matter how small. Start moving in the direction of your dream. Take that first step today, then another tomorrow, and then another. If you do that, the power of imagination, faith, and action will combine, and you'll create a reality that's greater than anything you could have hoped for. Step by step, you'll watch your dreams unfold, and you'll know without a doubt that you were the one who made it happen. Remember, you're the author of your own story. Don't let fear hold the pen. Instead, take small steps each day to face your fears. Start with something manageable, like making that phone call you've been avoiding or speaking up in a meeting. Each small victory builds your confidence and helps you reclaim control over your story. Write the story you want. Imagine it, believe in it, act on it. And one day you'll look around and realize that your imagination has become your reality. Because that, my friends, is the power that lies within each and every one of us. The power to imagine, to believe, and to act. The power to create a life that's not just good, but a life that's extraordinary.